This is a story about a place and a time which was unmatched in U.S. history in terms of art, sports, music, and entertainment. This is the story of Hollywood's magical island, Catalina. In May of 1919, William Wrigley Jr. received a call from investor David Blankenhorn regarding the sale of a small island off the coast of California.
He bought it sight unseen, or he bought a portion of the island sight unseen in 1919.
The commercial expansion of the island continued under the supervision of David Renton. The first venture began with Sugarloaf Casino. This 8-sided, steel-framed, stud and stucco structure was designed as a dance pavilion which accommodated 250 couples. Transportation remained critical to the commercial success of the island. William Wrigley Jr. commissioned 2 steamers, the SS Avalon in 1920 and the SS Catalina in 1924. The steamers weighed over 2,000 tons each, with a holding capacity of over 1,500 people. The next phase of development was the redesign of the Sugarloaf Casino. William Wrigley Jr. and his team of architects moved the Sugarloaf Casino to Avalon Canyon to house the largest single bird cage in the world. Beginning in 1921, William Wrigley Jr.'s Chicago Cubs enjoyed spring training amidst the island's splendor. A baseball stadium was constructed adjacent to the golf course. For the next 30 years, the Chicago Cubs made Catalina their second home. The real treasure for Catalina turned out to be the famous Catalina tile. In 1926, clay deposits were transformed into a modern pottery factory based in Pebble Beach. In 1928, with the relocation of the Sugarloaf Casino, the Santa Catalina Island Company began to build its most memorable contribution, which to this day says Santa Catalina and Avalon to the world. The 140-foot-tall circular casino with a suspended 15,000-square-foot wooden ballroom dance floor. World-famous Chicago architects Walter Weber and Sumner Spalding designed this Venetian palace with the idea of building the world's largest circular ballroom, complete with a theater below. During construction, D.M. Renton recommended that William Wrigley Jr. hire artist John Gabriel Beckman to design the casino's mural.
He had done Grauman's Chinese Theater the year before, and so of course he had that reputation. The Wrigleys found out about Grauman's Chinese, and they had the idea of wanting to have the very first theater ever built for the advent of talking motion pictures. So they thought of no one else but Mr. Beckman.
The first of the Beckman murals feature 9 panels encircling the walls of the casino entrance. These 10-foot by 25-foot Art Deco style murals evolved from Greek origins and reflect the underwater marine life surrounding the new casino.
Mr. Wrigley had it set up for Mr. Beckman to come and get in a rowboat and to go through all of these gardens, our undersea gardens, to get some inspiration.
The crown jewel of Beckman's murals is the illustrious mermaid, located directly above the ticket booth. Inside the theater auditorium, Beckman's skill, along with 5 other artists, details the story of Catalina Island and features tales of early California history intertwined with Greek folklore. Above the stage, we see Beckman's reproduction of Botticelli's Venus, rising from the waves, framed by 500 square feet of gold leaf. Beckman's theater curtain richly illustrates William Wrigley Jr.'s journey across the country from Chicago to California. Located in the orchestral pit resides a 4-manual theater page organ, one of only 4 such organs in existence. It is still used during the museum's silent film benefit. The The projection room houses two Brinkert 35mm projectors with two Brinkert carbon arc lights operational since 1939. Revolutionary in design, the theater was the first in the world built for talkies, and in tests, the theater acoustics were perfect.
I see the genesis of this whole talking motion pictures right here in Catalina and right there in our theater.
The theater's acoustics were so advanced that in 1931, engineers from New York City traveled to Avalon to replicate the acoustic design model. Subsequently, these engineers designed the Radio City Music Hall Auditorium, guided by Catalina's acoustic blueprint. On May 29, 1929, at a cost of $2 million, the Catalina Casino was unveiled to the city of Avalon and to the world. Upon completion of the Catalina Casino, William Wrigley Jr. and his advertising partner, Otis Shepard, drew plans to market Catalina Island. For the next 25 years, an expanded fleet led by the SS Catalina and the SS Avalon transported millions of people to the island. As the steamers approached Avalon Harbor, speedboats nicknamed Miss Catalinas escorted them to the pier. Passengers threw coins into the water for local divers to retrieve at depths of 30 to 40 feet.
I always remember pulling into the dock that's no longer there. The kids would be in the water and they'd be going, throw a coin, and you throw a big quarter and watch them dive down. And some kid would always be brave enough to sneak on the boat and get up and dive off the bow of the boat, which I don't know how high that bow was, but it was pretty high.
On a bright sunny day, the local divers collected as much as $15 in coins, silver dollars, and paper currency. The Catalina Casino now took its place as one of the leading big band entertainment venues in the Western world and ushered in the golden age of entertainment.
So we have two giant ballrooms we're speaking of now, like 20-some odd miles apart. And that is the Rendezvous Ballroom, where it all began with the jazz era of the big bands and Stan Kenton and everybody, and the Avalon Casino Ballroom, where every one of the bands that played at the Rendezvous Ballroom